small, not change, just want to start with Mr. Data. Okay, I can go.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. Anyone?
What I have to say, I've said this morning.
Sorry, you said the audio. Okay, I'll come up.
Okay,
I'll come up.
Mr. Ara Nahabedian.
I'll introduce.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you very much for all of you. I'm Ara Nahabedian. I'm an Armenian. And I'll introduce a little bit about myself so that we get more friendly, so that you can put things in perspective, where I'm coming from, and etc. I'm an Armenian, second generation of genocide survivors of Armenian by the Turkish Empire in 1915. My grandparents survived the genocide, and they ended up in Aleppo city, where all Armenians were supposed to die in the Deir Zor desert city where ISIS has occupied now. Now Aleppo city is gone. 1960s, Syria went into trouble, and I ended up in Beirut, Lebanon for my education. I went to the American University of Beirut, the only one registered out of USA and registered in New York City. During my medical education, Lebanon was in civil war, and during the first year of medical school, I was a scrub nurse for the casualties, similar to the images you see nowadays, every day. Sort of Lebanese civil war was an introduction to the rest of the wars in this modern day and age after the Second World War. Vietnam was nothing in our books because Vietnam was more organized, better under control, how many people died. But we used Vietnam experience, etc. I came to this country fully trained, and 1984 I was also street trainee, and I was a very rare non-local graduates to go to Wrightington and train in joints with Robleski, Hardinge, and Murphy. And then I became professional refugee because I was a Syrian citizen with a Lebanese medical degrees, masters in anatomy and histology, bachelor in biology and chemistry, MD and training. Syria said, you are not a Syrian graduate, so you go to the Israeli front. So I ended up in Leighton from Brian O'Connor's very generous positioning in crew. It was the Eastern Front terminology for registrar in Oslo Street training. So if you registered for crew, you are done. But I was in a situation beggars can't be choosers, and I was very lucky to be there and until November. I've never been sort of in the mind. Where is this?
That bottom right hand corner.
Bottom right hand. Oh,
There.
too small, yeah.
It's hard to see.
Yeah. With my cataract eye. Right is cataract now, I can see through the walls. I've been always a middle grade, from registrar to middle grade. And 76 is the year I started medicine, and I start November 14, October 31st at 5 p.m. I've titled the last days of the SAS because I feel the situation at the moment does not reflect the SAS that we know or knew so far. After my personal introduction, Aleppo to Beirut and UK, Israeli war, Oslo Street training, Wrightington training, I did 6 years local consultant in Leighton, as well as my full-time job as a staff grade. But that stopped in the year 2000, and October I stopped. Now, what is the SAS problem? First of all, we have a problem that we don't have CCT registration in this day and age. Let's admit it, and we are a different, handicapped group of doctors. CCT, we don't have it. We don't have a formal body to protect the SAS. We have the educational dean, we have the DNA, we have the GMC, we have the BOA, but we don't have somebody who has teeth and can bite if somebody is going to tell us off or mistreat us. It is down to the unit that we are working in to control us, to play with us like a cat plays with the mouse. And the present day and age, since 2010, in my hospital at least, and in some others, the hospital has decreed that the patient care, according to the hospital needs, is a specialist registered doctor care. So the hospital needs a plumber, they get a plumber. They need a doctor, it must be specialist registered. That means people like you don't have a specialist registration. I was downgraded as well as my colleague. Unfortunately, my colleague had to change hospital, and I said, I'm going to stay. I didn't want to use the good money for old road because that's not my character, but I said, I cannot fight it anymore. I have been delegated very small jobs for the past 4 years. I've been the specialist in carpal tunnel, trigger fingers, and ganglions. I can do the procedure from another hospital with my eyes closed. The SAS contract is so loose that in each hospital department, they can treat the SAS the way they want. So if I have good department, I've been treated very well. And therefore, it's administratively and contractually, we are in a very bad situation. Unfortunately, now consultants are going through the similar situation of going through the 7-day suffering and torture. Somehow, in retrospect, I feel good. So I wasn't the only one being bullied to do a lot of work. They are going to that hard phase. But 7 days, that's government. There's nothing they can do. The outcome, a non-specific career. We are jack of all trades, moving with the wind. Only because once I was a hand surgeon specialist for 5 years. There was no hand surgeon. A hand surgeon came, I stopped doing hand surgery. Another time I took the foot for 7 years. Then a foot surgeon came, and 2 or 3, and I stopped doing foot surgery. I did almost all ankle fusions, one of the most difficult procedures, etc. Therefore, what am I in the department? Dog's body, gopher, or understudy? Which one am I? And the fact that they have in-house somebody, in my case it's me and my good colleague who left, who did cementless joints with very, very good success rates, very low complication rate. And he was degraded. And a new colleague starts with full respect as a new consultant, and suddenly he wants to do neck of femur fractures because he wants to keep his hand in the neck of femur fracture. And therefore, we were completely sidelined, degraded professionally. The money was not stopped, but that's not what we are here only for. We are here as a young, interesting, interested, intellectual, forward-going. We create things many times in our lifetime. I've made a few jigs for the the blade plate into one unit. But under their nose, I was ignored. And in my annual appraisal, I present every case, because I keep a record, every case in the clinic. I can show you how to do it, and every case I operate. And what does it show? Minor operations. Minor clinic here, a minor clinic there, a minor clinic there. What am I? So how am I going to be assessed as a contracted doctor financially as well? So going to courses, BOA, etc., come back with a bit of education. No, we haven't tried this, we haven't done this operation before, you are not going even to think about it. So where am I going forward? Conclusion. The SAS should be nowadays told honest and clearly about the nature of the future of the post from now on. They should choose only one as their expectation. If they want to progress forward, get an SPR job. Don't waste your time, your family time, your psychology, your emotions, trying to get Caesar, or in my time CSSD, etc., through the staff grade post. So if you are going to go to Caesar, take an SPR. You are more respected, you are more protected, and you will move forward financially and professionally. Or leave the country, go to another place, because there is maybe another place for you elsewhere. Change profession. I stopped my job in October 31st, Friday, 5 p.m. The week after, I helped my plumber to put a supply pipe to our old house from the half-an-inch lead diameter, about 30 meters long, from the main to the bathroom. I assisted him. Freedom. Instead of doing a total hip, I was happy to dig the trench, fill it with gravel, sand, etc. I used the digger with success without damaging my own property. But he got paid 5,000 pounds for a week. He has 3 specialist registration, not only one. He is a plumber licensed, he has gas license, and he has the 3rd license called water authority or utility. If he digs water pipes, he doesn't need a water utility inspector. He takes a photograph with his mobile phone, not an iPhone, Samsung, sends it. He gives you the license like another consultant. And he is making 5,000 a week. So that's not a joke. 2 months ago, I helped another colleague electrician to rewire a house. He said, Ara, come around, I'll show you how to do it. I like electrics. We rewired a terraced property. In 3 weeks, he got 4,000 pounds. And he was enjoying. Now, what are we going for? If you are coming as a staff grade, you want to progress, stay a staff grade and be happy. Don't think to be in that direction. Don't think you are an ostrich or a wildebeest or another thing. Or accept that the SAS is a glorified SHO job nowadays till you retire or you die. Choose one. Now, I'm saying this because I've got enough colleagues supporting this fact. I thought I was the odd one out. No, I wasn't. Maybe in many ways, yes, but no. So I say thank you. And if you have been affected by this presentation, call me. I have a counseling phone line. Thank you very much.